Hello? How is it now? I have to try again. Do you hear me? Hello. Hello, everybody. Oh, good. Oh my gosh. Wow. That was the most shocking, scariest thing that could happen when you're holding an online conference. I was talking and I didn't know that you were telling me, oh, your sound is bad. And I'm so sorry. And I hope you will. I mean, I don't know if you heard this through my presentation, but there will possibly be some technical problems exactly like this. And I'm not there in person to be able to like distract. So thank you so much for bearing with me here. Uh, cool. So I guess you didn't hear any of my presentation, and so I wonder if I should do part of it again. What we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna probably push this roundtable off to maybe later in the day to anyone who's supposed to be in there. So yes, I think if I'm actually going to ask you, to those in the chat, do you want to have me do this presentation again? Did you catch anything? Okay, you didn't. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm going to do this presentation. I'm going to go back and do this presentation again, but I'm going to keep a very close eye on the chat so that if anything happens, you can stop me. I'm so sorry about that. All right, let's go back to that beginning of this presentation. Yeah. Okay, I guess I'll just redo it then. So I'm going to leave this. You're going to see the window for now. I apologize, but I think it's just a little bit safer to not have it take up my whole screen while I do this. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So thank you for coming to the Zero Knowledge Summit, and thank you for bearing with us. I'm sorry again. I'm sorry for the hiccup at the beginning there. This is all put on by the Zero Knowledge podcast, which you know. I'm going to go a lot faster through this presentation than I originally did, I think. All right. Okay. So here's what it's all about. This is the first time we're doing it online. You can see that I'm still learning how to do this setup. I want to talk about this event and about Crowdcast. So I think already you've noticed like something about how we jump between sessions. If we This is how it works. We're basically going to do like each talk is its own session. Each time we move from session to session, you're going to be pulled over, like I just pulled you over. The schedule, if you're curious to where it is, it's just at the top. You should be able to see it. You just click more. Now, if you go into any of those sessions, you actually leave this session. So just keep that in mind. There's the chat on the side. There's the ask a question underneath. Oops. If there's any tech issues, like I just experienced, first you have to reload, then you have to check all your plugs, then you have to check any sort of other setup you have. In my case, I have sort of a fancy setup because I have to be playing videos with sound later, and I'm so sorry that this all got kind of a bit jumbled, but I'm glad that we figured it out. You can always check the help button at the top, and you can also check the Crowdcast FAQs if anything acts weird for you. Uh-huh. We found that Chrome is a little bit better than Firefox and all of the other browsers. All right, a little bit about what we're doing. This is the main stage. This is the actual main stage, and from here I can actually pull on other speakers to potentially join this chat. And we were going to do an example of this just to like get us all warmed up, but I think we actually won't be able to do that now, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do that later. Yeah, so this is how it works, where you can basically go from the main stage to the chat. There's also the Zoom breakouts that we're going to be doing. If you've seen the full schedule, you've probably seen Zoom breakouts. We're going to be sharing links to just a Zoom room. It's just a basic Zoom room. So nothing special there. The presenter will act as the moderator of the room. Just be polite, I guess, like mute yourself when you arrive and the kind of the basics there. But we'll actually share those links when the time comes to actually join the breakouts. Okay, we're also using the Telegram group. I'm scared to look at it because I feel like it's blown up, but yeah, we're using this as sort of our secondary chat. These are the 4 things. There's also something we're calling the Zoom lobby, which is just a big hangout, like it's a Zoom hangout, but I don't really know what it's going to be like because there could be, I don't know, like at some point, like 100 people in there. So I guess be polite there too. We're sort of experimenting with this like large scale Zoom room. And I said this before, and I realized that you didn't hear me say this, but I want to say, I realize that this is a, the topic of the Zero Knowledge Summit is basically privacy and decentralized tech, and we are using incredibly centralized systems to present this. I want to say I'm sorry that we weren't able to find anything a little bit more suitable, but I think given the time frame and given what we've all had to do in a pretty short amount of time, this is what we landed on, and we decided this was probably the best for at least this edition. But if there are better solutions out there and you want to share that with like me for later, please do that. I think that would be great. Program, I think you can see that. We're going to have a few sessions here, and then we're going to do a break, and then later we're going to do another number of sessions. And at the very end, we're going to try to do something called the Park Bench Panel, which is something that I do in the regular Zero Knowledge Summits. But we will see if that actually works in this format. What's good is since we weren't able to do the roundtable that we had planned here, maybe we'll be able to do something like that later. Okay. Here, I really want to say, and this is a very important slide to me because since this event got so changed around, I really, really appreciate that our sponsors stuck with us because, what I had originally proposed no longer was something that I could offer. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of the sponsors for coming with us. I want to share a little bit about them because I think that they, oh, I just want to make sure that that's visible. Yeah, cool. So I want to say thank you to Starkware. Starkware is developing a full proof stack using Stark technologies. They have a world-class group of researchers and engineers, and there's some OGs like Elie Ben-Sasson, who's in the audience here on their founding team. I want to say thank you to Aztec, who's a leading London-based deep tech company. They've been building a scalable privacy network on Ethereum that is designed to enable private smart contracts. And they're also the team behind much of the research on Plonk, which we will be talking about in this summit. Oops, sorry. Next up, we have Matter Labs, which is a company very much focused on zero knowledge proofs, building the 1.5 layer 1.5 solution on Ethereum. They are the team behind zkSync, Redshift, and Zinc, which is a safe by default ZKP programming framework. The Zcash Foundation is also a supporter. They are building the privacy infrastructure for the public good. Obviously, Zcash Foundation is connected to the Zcash network, but it is also active in education generally around zero knowledge proofs, privacy technology, and related causes. And later today, they will be having their community call. And we've actually included that in our program. We're going to be letting you know about that when it's happening. That's happening at 6 p.m. So you might want to join that as well. I want to say thank you to Trail of Bits, who is a security and auditing company. They help secure some of the world's most targeted organizations and products. They're a longstanding supporter of the summit and the podcast, so I want to say a big thank you to Trail of Bits. Yeah, there's Centrifuge. Centrifuge, this is the first time that Centrifuge is supporting the summit, but they're a longstanding participant in the summit, and I just want to say a big thank you to Centrifuge. They are an open and decentralized platform to connect global financial supply chain. And they're a real world use case of zero knowledge proofs, which I think is pretty cool. And then lastly, I want to say thank you to Parity Technologies. Parity Technology is an infrastructure and innovation focused company building platforms and applications for the decentralized web. My co-host of the podcast, Frederick, is the CTO of Parity. I used to work there like before I started working more on the podcast. And we also have two volunteers who will be helping kind of organize this kind of in the background, Ivana and Carol Ann. So you might meet them in the Zoom rooms, or you might meet them in the green room if you're a speaker. All right, so I just wanted to say thank you again to all of the sponsors. You've been really amazing. All right, so I have a little bit of time left. I really want to do this because I do this every time we have a summit. This is a question that was in the application form. Now, there's some people who joined probably not having gone through the application process like we usually do. I ended up scrapping it when we switched over to be an online event. But I still got some really good answers. So the question had been, how would you describe recursive snarks to a friend? And we got some cool answers. So, compressing proofs of proofs. That seems right. A solution for data minimization in the context of zero knowledge proofs. I do not talk with my friends about cryptography. That was one of them. Picture of a picture of a picture of a. I wouldn't be friends with someone who doesn't already know what they are. Now, this is a different angle. It's what Leo DiCaprio does at the end of Inception, kinda. It's proofception. That seems like an answer in the same vein. It's magic. I can prove that I can prove that I can prove where Waldo is without showing Waldo. I actually am wearing my Where's Waldo shirt today because in ode to this topic, I haven't had a chance to wear it in the live version, but yeah, I thought I'd wear it today. Oh, wait. Okay. Recursive snarks, embedded proofs within proofs like Matroska dolls crafted by MC Escher. There can be any number of dolls, but the size of the outermost remains constant. So this is an answer that I thought was quite nice as well. All right. This is a weird one, a Bush telegraph that actually works. Didn't get that one. It's a proof of computational step and a proof of all of the previous steps. So thank you for all of these amazing answers. I think I actually could show, I could probably create a doc with all of the answers that people gave because some of them are a little bit too long to include here. But yeah, thanks again for doing that application and going through that. I really like this every time. I like what people have to say. All right. So thank you again to the sponsors of zkSummit. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry that we, used up so much of your time in this preamble, but now we can definitely start in. Who's the winner? I don't know, Alan. Who's the winner to you? You can pick one. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna just check in with Kobe to make sure he's ready to do his presentation on Plumo, which is coming up next. Yeah. So stay here as long as you feel like. Eventually, we're just going to be basically pulling you in to the next session. So we'll see you there.